My name is Edith Wilson, and I was not the first female president. Until Woodrow wakes up, I decide what is and isn't allowed.
This office is amazing. A big green oval and not a corner in sight. This is the first time in either of our young lives.
I love that you call me young. Keep going.
Q-Code and Crooked Media present Edith, starring Rosamund Pike. Listen on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Why is there a harbor seal walking around the office?
Oh, that's our new CEO.
Come again?
Well, apparently they didn't order through EasyCater for the board meeting, and when the food didn't arrive, they kind of lost focus. Next thing you know...
We have a seal as our CEO. Did I say something wrong?
No, she just wants a mackerel. Here you go.
Bad ideas happen when there's no food for the meeting. So make sure it's on time and as ordered from more than 80,000 restaurants. Now, EasyCater.
Thank you. I just got promoted.
Order 24/7 on EasyCater.com.
I am so glad my friend Charles Harmon, award-winning columnist with the Minnesota Spokesman Recorder newspaper, is on the line with me. Charles, good morning to you.
You ain't lying. Good morning. I didn't check my emails. I don't check my emails before noon.
You know what? You know what? And I told Dave, I said, Dave, this is not like Charles. If he does not respond, and I don't usually call the police on people, I'm doing a wellness check. Because anytime I call Charles Harmon, he always responds. And then I sent Dave another note. I was like, it is early in the morning.
Oh, great to talk to you, yes, always. You know, I know I'm going to talk to you whatever time you want me to talk to you. If it's 5 in the morning, I'll talk to you.
You know, you have proven that, because when they had me doing that overnight show, you surely came on with me, and so I absolutely appreciate it. I'm just excited, and I have to get your take on this, because you have covered women's basketball for decades for the Spokesman Recorder newspaper, one of the most respected journalists in women's sports throughout the country you are. And I saw this story and I thought about you, because we're always talking about the pay equity and the facilities and how they're not equal between women and men, especially in the WNBA, and all the hoops that the ladies not only have to hit but have to jump through to make a sustainable living from their craft. And so Michael Jordan's brand is making history, and he is partnering with 11 emerging WNBA players. What do you know about this?
It's a great move. In the last CBA that the players agreed to, and then about a year ago, just before the pandemic, the WNBA wanted to try to keep more players from going overseas, especially their stars. So they put an incentive program that they wanted to, if they would not go overseas, then they would have some money for them that they could work out at the team, or do something on the state side that it could complement their income so they wouldn't be totally broke. So this is a great move, because unlike the men, the women play all year round, and their bodies don't get a chance to recoup, don't get a rest, and it hurts the league's performance when your stars are worn down trying to play overseas ball, and they come back and they don't make training camp in time, stuff like that. So anything they can do to keep the women in stateside and not have to play overseas, I'm all for it, even if it's Michael Jordan.
And these 11 players, one of them is our very own Maya Moore. They're a part of this brand with Michael Jordan. He's really targeting these young women, the younger generation of women, so they can see this as an opportunity growing up, because a lot of these young women didn't see, they saw them playing basketball, but didn't see them being, in the advertising and getting the shoe deals on a larger scale. So talk to me about, Charles, what that means for the next generation of players coming up.
Well, what it means for, and Sharetta, you could relate to this, for a lot of years, women basketball players had to wear men's shoes. They didn't make athletic shoes, particularly for women, to play basketball. So therefore, these women they was wearing Jordans, or Jordan's not a woman's basketball player. So if you have a Sheryl Swoop shoe, gee, guess what that'll do? That'll get me to go out. I mean, my first pair of sneakers was Elgin Baylor's shoes, okay? Now think about this. I followed Eldrin Baylor all his career. Well, think about if you wear a Maya Moore shoe. Now she's not playing, but you know her career. So now you go out, and so you got a young kid get those shoes, and they're playing basketball. So it brings in that fan base, a future fan base, because now you got a connection. You love the player, so you're wearing their shoes. I mean, how many people wore Jordans and they play basketball now? It was just Jordan. He promoted it. Him and Spike Lee was doing the commercial. So now if this can happen on the women's side, oh, heck yeah, this will be a great boom. Because women's sports is still looked at as a niche sport. They still looked at it as, oh, yeah, all right. But women work very hard. As you know that I'm passionate about covering women's sports. They work very hard at what they do. And they should get the equitable credit. Not equal, but equitable credit for what they do. And this is a great recognition. It's great. I hope my granddaughter will be able to buy some shoes. No, she ain't got the money yet. So I don't.
Right. Grandpa gonna have to buy these shoes. But Cheryl Swoops, she works for Nike. And in 1995, Cheryl Swoops became the first woman in sports history to receive her own signature sneaker, the Nike Air Swoops. And so she is actually at Nike now. And she was saying that, what this says is even Jordan sees something different and something special in female athletes, in the women, and they're not being left behind. If Michael Jordan sees it and validates it, what does it say to the rest of the world about women's sports, Charles?
It opens the door. It shows that they have reached a point where you have to be recognized, and not just when something happens controversial or some cat fight, something like that. But it makes a point. We in the 21st century. We had a pro league that's been around for 25 years that nobody thought would make it 2 or 3. We got women doing fantastic. Look at the USA team that just got selected. Look at the women who has competed in track this week and how the women just doing it, okay? And black women especially. So that's got to be recognized. Can't be just looked at this as this is just something that, okay, I watch it because I ain't got nothing else to watch. No, this is something, if you really love athletics, if you're not watching women's sports, then you're half a sports fan, in my opinion. I'll be honest. If you can't go out and watch the appreciation of a WNBA game, or watch a women's soccer game, or watch women's hockey, or watch women's volleyball, and you don't appreciate the athleticism that you see, then there's something wrong with you. And unfortunately, we do have that narrowness among too many men, especially the ones that are in the media, that don't see women in that same vein. They see them, oh, yeah, well, okay. No, it's not okay. We got to move beyond that. We're going to talk about forward progress. To show some forward progress. Heck, I'm using a cell phone. I didn't want to use one 10 years ago.
There you go. That's it right there. We are talking to Charles Hallman, award-winning columnist covering women's sports for the Minnesota Spokesman Recorder newspaper. Now, Charles, you're going to have to stick around, because when we come back, there is a female athlete who broke from Nike to create her own shoe. Who's that woman? We'll tell you that next.
Oh, thanks, everyone. I have 2 announcements. First, we didn't use Easy Cater for this meeting, which is why the food never arrived. Also, and I just thought of this, effective immediately, everyone will be paid in wildly volatile cryptocurrency. You're all now billionaires. And now you're broke.
Bad ideas happen when there's no food for the meeting. So make sure it's on time and as ordered from more than 80,000 restaurants. Now, Easy Cater.
You're rich again. And now you're not.
Order 24/7 on EasyCater.com.
I don't know if you were watching Sunday night, Charles Hallman, but these women that are heading to Tokyo in track and field are dynamic. They are exciting to watch. It reminds me of FloJo, and one of the women that I have had my eye on that I love, Allison Felix. She came in second in the 400 meter at the U.S. Olympic track and field trials. She clinched her spot to Tokyo, but that ain't even the best part, Charles Harmon.
I know.
She has launched Sash. It's a new lifestyle brand for women, and the company's first product is Sash One sneakers, available for pre-order on the company's website. It's just amazing. Now, you know, she was with Nike, and then she broke from Nike, and now she's created her own lifestyle brand. You know, I was just so excited and empowered when I saw the story.
No, it's very good, Shaletta. You know, and you know, for all the things that Nike has done over the years, they really have not promoted women's shoes as much as they promoted Jordan. I mean, Cheryl Stroops signed with them, but they didn't put a lot of promotion behind it. Maya Moore had a shoe, they didn't put a lot of promotion behind it. So I think Allison, I'm only thinking, this is my speculation, that she saw that and other people are saying that, well, hey, I can do my own. My own. Why should I stick with Nike? So therefore, oh man, I'm looking forward to seeing her in Tokyo. I'm not going to be there, but I like to see her, you know, from afar, because I love, you know, she definitely has done a story that nobody has talked about a lot, because you know how the Olympics is. You know, you only get into it every 4 years, but man, you know, all the training they put into it. You know, that's why I always say, Shaletta, that everybody should get a medal. Okay, you're gonna get the top three that gold, silver, and bronze. Because you know, when I say that, because you would put in 4 to 8 years of training. Mm-hmm. And if you competed that long, you should get something. You know, you're not going to get the top medals, but you should get something. Something for that time, for that work.
And this is her 5th Olympic team. I mean, Allison Felix has been around in the track and field, you know, category for a very long time, very successful, and she will be going to Tokyo. I'm excited about watching her, but I'm not going to lie to you. I was more excited when the story broke Sunday night that she was going to be doing her own shoe. And, you know, she, you know, and you know, I identify with this because she's a parent. She's got a 2.5-year-old daughter. She left Nike in 2019, and the dispute with them was about the maternity. You remember, you know, when they had the big dispute about the moms, the athletes, and the maternity, and that whole drama. And so now, you know, she's doing her own thing, and it just, you know, for me, I feel empowered as a woman. I told some girlfriends of mine, I was like, all I'm getting anybody for birthdays or special occasions coming up is a pair of Allison's shoes, because I have to support this woman and this woman-owned business.
Definitely. But, you know, the WNBA had that issue, too. Now it's in their CBA that they have to recognize maternity leave, because that's why Skylar Diggins was upset, and that's why she left or wanted out of Tulsa at that time. They're now Dallas, because they gave her too much grief over her over her pregnancy. You know, almost like they made it seem like you got pregnant on purpose. Well, she was married. Okay, so yeah, she got pregnant on purpose. That's what you do when you're married. Okay, right. But the organization did not treat her with the same respect that you would treat, you know, a person or a star player who, hey, okay, that happens. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's why she left. I mean, I don't know a lot of people know that. That's why she forced the trade, because she felt she was not respected even after she had the baby. And she came back real quick after she had a baby.
Oh, yeah.
And they almost like they didn't respect that. Now, the Lynx, on her hand, respected Odyssey Serum when she had her baby last year, and she came back. You know, they had to let her go because of salary cap issues, but you know, they gave her respect. They didn't sit up there and rush her back. She wanted to come back sooner than she really needed to, because she wanted to play and those type of things. So yeah, it has, you know, there has to be. There's no equalization, but it should be fair treat.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's no equalization when it comes to men and women, but there should be some fairness there. If a woman gets pregnant, that's an illness, okay? Because trust me, you can testify that that's an illness. You carrying a living child, and then you go through all the things you got to go through with your body changing to carry that child. That's an illness. And no man, I ain't be honest.
Y'all don't even get it.
I got my back hurts a little bit.
Y'all don't even get it. And you know, and you know, you shouldn't feel like I have to put my career on hold because I want to have a child. If you want to start a family, you would think that your company, especially the way that these female basketball players are dedicating and putting their bodies and on the line for the team every night and everything that they have to go through to work twice as hard as a man to get half the salary. If you want to start a family, you shouldn't have to fear that your job is going to be in jeopardy because of that. And so I just really appreciate what Allison Felix is doing, creating the shoe line, empowering women, and along with being a mom and going to Tokyo and getting ready for the Olympics. Like you said, that ain't no easy win. Now, before you go, you got to tell me, because you always have the inside scoop with the links. What's going on in the organization? What do you know? What have you heard that we don't know yet? Give me the scoop.
They are right now. They got the injury bug like everybody else in the league. Chicago's gotten healthy again. That's why Chicago's won 6 in a row. So they're dealing with some injury issues, and that's basically the biggest problem. They're trying to figure out how to be a team that can use Sylvia Faust in her best way. She's playing an all-star clip right now, and be able to incorporate McBride and other players who are more outside shooters. So I think I told somebody this morning before you called me that I think there still could be a top 4 team in the league. I think when things start settling down to get the injury issues out the way, they can be up there. But it's going to be, this is no longer the length that people had recognized the core 4. That those days are gone. By the way, I want you to tell your listeners that you're going to be part of my 25-part WBA at 25 series. My ambitious. I've never written one like that before, and you're going to be part of it. Okay.
Well,
so.
I was going to bring it up next because I was going to ask you to tell everybody where they can find that, because Charles Hallman has been covering women's sports for 4+ decades, and he is doing a special series in the Minnesota Spokesman Recorder about the 25th anniversary.
Next week will be the first one, the first edition. I'll take the first installment. We're about before the WNBA. Okay, so a lot of people, there's still a generation don't know that there was pro leagues before the WNBA, and so I interviewed one person who played in a league back in the 70s, and she's a big fan of WNBA. So she talked about the fact that she didn't want to go overseas because that wasn't something you had to do if you wanted to continue to play pro ball. And look, there was a league that started, and she played in it for 2 years, and then she, the league folded, and she went on to do her career. So that'll be my first install, but you're going to be part of it. And so I've never done 25 parts before, so this is going to be really, but I've interviewed several people. I interviewed a bunch of people, former players, present players, coaches, current and past, including the first black president of the WNBA, Laura Rich. I interviewed her, and she'll be part of that series. So I'm looking forward to writing it because I follow the league, I follow women's sports. So, look out next week. I don't know when Shaletta's piece is going to come out, but she talked about the Houston Comets. And so therefore she's going to be featured. You're going to be featured in one of them. I don't know when, but I'll give you a heads up when I know I put it together.
Well, I tell you what, if folks are out there and they want more of Charles Hallman, please subscribe to the Minnesota Spokesman Recorder newspaper. Go online and check out his feature columns on women's sports. It is always a good read. Charles, thank you so much for being on Corey Heppela's show today on CCO Radio.
Hey, thank you. You hang in there, you and your family, stay safe, okay?
All right, you two kiss that grandbaby for me.
I will.
Why is there a harbor seal walking around the office?
Oh, that's our new CEO.
Come again?
Well, apparently they didn't order through EasyCater for the board meeting, and when the food didn't arrive, they kind of lost focus. Next thing you know,
we have a seal as our CEO. Did I say something wrong?
No, she just wants a mackerel. Here you go.
Bad ideas happen when there's no food for the meeting. So make sure it's on time and as ordered from more than 80,000 restaurants. Now, EasyCater.
Thank you. I just got promoted.
Order 24/7 on EasyCater.com.
Hey, I'm Peter Bukowski, host of the Locked On Today podcast. Trying to stay on top of every big story in sports is a full-time job. I know, because it is my full-time job. But it's not yours. That's why we have a network of local experts ready to give you the inside scoop on everything you truly need to know in the sports world. And we do it every day to make sure you're always caught up on the latest and greatest in sports. Listen to the Locked On Today podcast every day on the Odyssey app or wherever you get podcasts.